All right, so today we're diving into the world of MrBeast, right? We've got this stack of articles all about Jimmy Donaldson.
Yeah.
And looks like we're trying to figure out, like, what's behind those crazy stunts, the $1 million giveaways. Who is this guy?
Yeah, for real. It's kind of mind-blowing how he went from, like, bedroom gamer to a full-on global brand.
Right.
It's a lot to unpack there.
For sure. So, starting at the beginning, our sources mention Wichita, Kansas. That where it all began.
That's where he was born, yeah.
Okay.
But Greenville, North Carolina, that's where he, like, grew up.
Yeah.
Where he first hit that upload button, you know?
Interesting. Not the typical breeding ground for, like, a YouTube superstar.
Yeah.
Anything about his early years that, like, hinted at this future?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. One article talked about how, even as a teenager, he was already, like, analyzing how much money other YouTubers were making.
No way.
Almost like he was, you know, figuring out their success before even launching his own channel. That entrepreneurial spirit, you know, seems like it runs deep.
Wow. So even back then, it wasn't just a hobby for him, huh?
No, not at all.
He starts posting in 2012. He was, what, 13 then?
Yeah, about that.
What's YouTube even like back then? 2012?
Oh, man, a totally different world.
Yeah.
Think of, like, Let's Plays everywhere, those worst intros, compilations. MrBeast 6000 was right there in the mix.
The Wild West of YouTube.
Pretty much.
But he wasn't just copying everyone else, was he? You said he was, like, obsessed with the algorithm early on.
Exactly. It's like he understood, even then, that the system was just as important as the videos themselves. Other kids were busy, like, trying to be good at the games.
Right.
He was trying to crack the code of how videos got seen, you know. Different mindset.
It's like Bill Gates, right? Reading those computer manuals as a kid.
Totally.
This drive to understand how things work behind the scenes. And speaking of which, didn't his mom hate all this, at least at first?
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Like, imagine 2016,
Right.
dropping out of college to be a full-time YouTuber.
Not exactly the most stable career choice.
Not at all.
His mom even made him move out.
Wow.
Seemed like it only made him more determined, though.
Talk about a leap of faith, though, right? 2016, this was all so new.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to describe MrBeast now, back then. People would think you were making it up.
Like some crazy movie or something.
Exactly. But this is what I'm getting. This obsession with the algorithm wasn't just some phase he grew out of.
Well,
It was the foundation for everything he built.
100%.
Yeah.
He wasn't just along for the ride.
Right.
He was studying the car.
That's a great analogy.
Right.
So smart. Okay, so he's got this knowledge, this drive. When does it actually translate into, like, real success?
Our sources all point to 2017, the year of counting to 100,000.
The one where he just, like, films himself counting
Yeah.
for 40 hours straight.
Exactly. Sounds insane, right?
It does.
But that's kind of the brilliance of it. It was so different, so out there.
Yeah.
It tapped into that whole, you know, early YouTube thing of pushing boundaries.
And it worked. Like, the video blew up, right? Millions of views.
oh,
Yeah. Suddenly, MrBeast isn't just another gamer kid anymore.
Right. Like he cracked the code or something.
Totally.
And from there, he just keeps going bigger, you know?
Okay.
Bigger stunts, higher stakes. We're talking breaking glass with megaphones, recreating the entire Squid Game set for real.
Insane.
It's wild.
And we haven't even gotten to the giveaways yet.
Oh, right.
This is where it gets really interesting, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Because he goes from, like, giving a couple bucks to people on the street to giving away millions.
Millions. And that's a huge part of it, right?
Yeah.
That's the MrBeast phenomenon.
Yeah.
Blending that over-the-top entertainment with, like, real generosity connects with people on a whole other level.
It makes you wonder, though, right? Like, some people called it charity porn.
Right.
Is it really about the cause, or is it about the spectacle?
It's a good question, and it's a debate for sure. How effective is this kind of philanthropy? You know, the big splashy kind. Does it really get to the root of things? Is it a long-term solution?
Yeah.
Those are things to think about.
Totally. But you can't argue with the impact, though, right? Like, he got these issues in front of millions of people, people who might not have even known about them otherwise.
And he's not just relying on YouTube either. Remember those deals he made? Facebook, Snapchat.
Right.
Even went on that Gordon Ramsay show, Food Stars.
I forgot about that.
Dude understands how to reach people wherever they are.
It's like he's thinking 10 steps ahead, you know,
At least.
while everyone else is just trying to keep up.
Totally. And that brings us to, you know, the business stuff beyond YouTube.
Okay.
Because it's not just about the videos anymore.
Yeah. So we were talking about MrBeast's business stuff.
Yeah.
And it's serious business now. We're talking MrBeast Beastables, his own streaming network even.
It's like he's building a whole empire.
It really is, though. Like, he gets it. He understands that this whole digital world, you gotta diversify.
100%. And MrBeast Burger, that was smart, right?
So smart.
Jumped on that whole food delivery trend. But without, like, the cost of actual restaurants. Genius.
And it's not just burgers and candy bars either, right? The guy's got investments. He's partnering with huge companies.
It's next level, for sure.
This isn't just a YouTube channel anymore. It's like a whole conglomerate.
Exactly. And that's the thing, right? It's about controlling the whole thing.
Right.
He's not just making videos.
Right.
He's making the platforms, the audiences everywhere. So he's not stuck relying on any one thing, you know?
It's really smart.
Super smart.
And then that streaming network, right?
No.
Free. Has his own shows.
It's wild.
It's like he's making his own little Netflix.
Right. Total power move. He built his name on YouTube.
Yeah.
But they've got their rules, their limits. This way, he's in control of the content, the money, everything.
It's kind of amazing when you think about it. Like, he mastered YouTube's game.
Totally.
And now he's making his own.
It's next level.
But even with all the success, right? The articles we have, they talk about this other side too. Former employees saying things were toxic, that he had bad business practices.
Yeah, it's important to remember.
It's not just online hate, it's real people.
Right, exactly. Like, there's always a real person behind those online personas, you know? And that kind of pressure to always be bigger, to outdo yourself.
That'd be intense.
It takes a toll.
And then there's that lawsuit, right, from those contestants on his Amazon show, Beast Games.
Yeah.
Saying they were mistreated, even harassed. That's serious stuff.
It is. And it's important to say, these are just allegations.
Of course.
MrBeast says it wasn't like that. But still, that makes you think, you know, about responsibility, about power.
Definitely. It's a lot to take in, right? You've got the success, the innovation, the giving back.
Right.
But then these accusations, too.
It's complicated. But one thing's for sure, MrBeast, he's a force, you know? He's a product of this digital age. He's a master at getting people's attention. And he's a businessman through and through.
Yeah, I think you're right. He really is a product of this time period. Like, he showed us how powerful these algorithms can be, how to build a brand that's bigger than just one website, how to get people to care about things even.
And he's a reminder, too, I think,
Right.
that when you have that much power, that much influence, you got to be careful with it.
That's a good point. So I guess after this deep dive, the question is he a visionary? Is he just a really good showman? Or is he like a cautionary tale about fame in the internet age?
It's probably a little of all of it, honestly.
Right. He's kind of all of those things at once.
Definitely.
Well, one thing's for sure. MrBeast's story isn't over yet.
Not even close.
And what he does next, it's going to be fascinating to watch. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.